Hi, it's Bexy from channel bexbugoutsurvivor, and today I've put together a tree bivvy. It's equally as good on the ground as it is in the trees. Everything you need is inside the same kit. It's a unified system. You just put it up the once and it all fits in a compression sack of 40 litres. This includes the waterproofing, some of the insulation rather, so sleeping bag, hammock, tarp, everything you're going to need is in 40 litre, and that would sit on top of my pack just behind my head like that. I'll show it you on the pack in a bit, but first we're going to have a look at the components you're going to need to make this one, and I bet you most of the components you'll already know. Well, I've just laid out my Chant Wonder insulated hammock minus its mosquito netting. I think this only will work with a hammock minus its mosquito netting. Now this is the critical component here to the build. That is my Dutch Army hoop bivvy. Is to lay the Dutch Army hoop bivvy inside the hammock. Now the Dutch Army hoop bivvy comes with tie-in points. See if I can get you that into some kind of focus there. And this is to peg it out to make the ground system becomes a little tent, a little ground bivvy. So this is going to be a bivvy which conversely you can put into a tree as well. So it's through the pegging points at the foot end and at the head end. I'm going to thread the hammock webbing straight through like that. The webbing is through that loop, and the bivvy itself is secure. You can no longer slide down one way or the other. You need to do that on all four corners. Now I'm going to do this on all four corners. And it's the same kind of trick with your DPM basher. You'd look for your tie out point here. Now this is where you'd usually attach some paracord to and tie it out to a tree, but we're not going to do that. Again, we're going to thread a suspension line straight through that. But first there's something I want to show you. It's different about my DPM basher. So here is the webbing you would usually attach your paracord to tie it to a tree. Remember, we're just going to put one of the suspension webbings through that. But follow me over here. Right on the edge of the seam, that black strip there is hook and eye Velcro. Now I've done this on the foot end and the head end, and a metre of hook and eye was just a couple of quid, so I needed 2 metres. And what this does, it's going to create a storm door, because this is going to be a cocoon system. Like I said, it's going to be like a tree tent or tree bivvy, and conversely it can be used on the ground. There is one of the eyes. There's the webbing line for the basher. Here is the suspension line for the hammock. So I'm going to thread that through both head and foot end like that. Okay, so that's the bivvy secured into place inside the hammock. That's the basher also secured onto the webbing line of the hammock also. So I'm going to put it in its cradle and we'll see it coming together a little more. This is the pegging point here that you'd usually stake out for the Gore-Tex bivvy. And on the other line, this is the webbing loop for the basher here. Now the Dutch bivvy comes with a sectional alloy pole like this, and it can thread through a sleeve to make an arch over your head. So I'm going to sleeve this right now, which I'm going to thread the alloy pole straight through to form a hoop. The Dutch bivvy will come with a grommet where you can thread the pole into. Now it's important you sit the loop, or the hoop rather, actually inside the hammock. Okay, that's the hoop section sat inside the hammock. It's starting to take shape. Hoop section, there's another bit of webbing where I've tied out a string, paracord in this case, which I'm going to drag all the way over to the foot end to tie onto the actual suspension with an adjustable knot. So here is the cord coming from the hoop head end, which I'm going to wrap around about 3, maybe 4 times, and with the last pass around I come around the back to make a square, reach inside the square and bring a loop through. Tidy that up and tighten it. Now when I pinch this loop and pull it, it will hold in its place, going tighter or slacker. So I'm going to keep pulling this like that. And let's see what's happened here. It's pulled the hoop end of this bivvy up and given me a ridge line. And the velcro that I put on the top or the basher, I'm going to seal that up head and foot end. This is a system that needs to be hung relatively low to the ground. I'm going to give you an inside guided tour, but first I need to put it into the cradle. So all I need to do now is to add in the sleeping bag and some kind of insulation. I've gone with one of my own insulation ideas. It's 21st century bedroll, that's on my channel. That keeps me lovely and warm inside that. So I'm going to pop that in, and that goes actually inside the bivvy itself. Likewise will my down sleeping bag. So let's have a go at that now. Now, using the edge webbing loop on the basher, I've just tied a simple guy-in point. Now I can thread this through the gilly like that and stake it out to the ground and stop it flapping about. Okay, simple basher pole, extend it, and that's gone through the loop where I'd usually tie out, bungee, hook it on. And of course it allows me to also keep my pack free from rain underneath the awning. Plenty of ventilation in here using this configuration. This would be great for the summer. Of course, in cooler climes, drop it right down, peg it out, get right into the bivvy, get right under your sleeping bag and lie on your insulation, and you can even hook the zip over on the hood end of the bivvy. You shouldn't need to though. I mean, that is for extreme cold. I have been down to -5 degrees Celsius in this configuration, no problem. Well, not in this configuration, sorry. In a similar one. And let's have a look underneath the awning we've made. Allows me to keep my pack dry. It allows us to cook and to boil water in the dry. A place for my Bergen underneath. Or it could be your Bergen, that's just my old Alice pack, much prefer it. And I'm going to get slated. Anyway, I was looking for something similar to this on the market, a tree tent. I typed into Google tree tent, Tree Bivvy, there's no such thing. I had to make one, and the results of this are pretty good. It's very good actually, and it came from an old idea that I had a few months ago. It was called 0 degree hammock hang without an underquilt, something along them lines. It's on my channel, but it was a separate system. The top went up, then the hammock went up, then I had to put other things. Everything was separated. Everything was quite modular. But now everything's been unified into one system. I carry everything in a 40-litre dry sack, and that sits on top of the pack. And this is it packed up. There's the 21st century bedroll at the bottom of the pack. There's the pack. All that in has my cooking things and a few sundries, and the shelter kit, both ground and Tree Dwelling survival kit. And the modern day bedroll sits underneath the pack. That leaves all this room in the pack completely empty. All I have in here now is my cook set. If we dive in, some sundries, I'll have some spare clothes. I also carry my water in the top compartment. The Alice pack has a pouch at the very top on the inside, which is ideal here for 2 litres of water in a hydration bladder. Mine's connected to a filter. Pots, pans, few cloves, bit of food, spare socks, wash kit. The whole of the pack has got very little in, and because of the weight of the shelter is taken up on top of your shoulders, it carries very easily. Let's dive into my pack. Let's see what I've got here. 2 of these. You're going to love these because it is great for a configuration like this. And if we come to the ridge end, we come to the ridge line, the head loop, I have a ridge line. I have on it an unused stuff sack from something, can't even remember what. Just really handy to pop your bits and bobs in, your phone, your wallet, whatever you like, it's always with you. You don't always need to actually get into the sleeping bag. I can lie on top of it. I don't have to pull the bivvy across. Again, I can sleep on it. So this is a 5-season system. It's up to you how you develop it and you use it, but chances are you'll probably already have most of the components. I'm sure you've got a hammock, I'm sure you've got a sleeping bag and a tarp. Well, all you need then is the Gore-Tex bivvy, because that is going to protect you from the wind, which is the element of the cold, and it really is worth investing in one of these Gore-Tex bivvies. Get the Dutch Army, much better. It has the tie-out loops to make one of these. It's a brilliant investment. You can do so much with them. With these webbing lines, I need to tie a loop and stake it. A completely different format to the usual Dutch Army hoop bivvy. It is in there. until next time, you'll see me out with this very soon. Have a look for it, because I'll be using it for an overnight. I'm gonna love it, guarantee. Until then, take care. I'll see you really soon.